The use of supplements within athletics is a long-standing issue. We have more modern natural supplements like a tablespoon of honey 12 hours before your race. I've been there. But back in 668 BC, Charmis, an Olympic sprinter, ate dried figs for that extra sugar kick. We know gladiators were mostly vegetarian, but they had a special drink made of bone ash and either wood or plant to help maintain calcium. We, as humans, are really competitive. And we also like entertainment. Intertwining these two things goes as far back to the gladiator rings, and in more recent times we have soccer, football, baseball, and even more recently, esports. For the average gamer, the use of illegal drugs to increase your performance is unnecessary, and usually dangerous to your health. There are potential side effects for any medication you put into your body, prescription or not. This isn't to say that modern medicine isn't a blessing for us, but tampering with drugs outside of a physician's care and monitoring is a risk. However, the world of natural supplements is a murky territory for most. Having worked as a personal trainer, the idea of pushing supplements or specific dietary aids is specifically trained out of you from reputable governing bodies. The gyms, on the other hand, your employers, ask you to directly push supplements with your clients, highly illegal and at times dangerous. If you are caught doing this, you will have your certification revoked from the governing body. If you choose to be certified through something like ACE, NASM, or NCSA, these aren't your run-of-the-mill average certification, something that an employer would ask you to get in 1 or 2 weeks. These often take weeks, months, or up to a year of study time to pass the test. These certifications are meant to give you the baseline that you need to jump into the complicated world of personal training. And when I'm saying complicated, I mean complicated. Everybody's kind of like a Rubik's Cube, right? You all have your own unique issues, and it's our job to help you with them. And if I'm being honest, it does not prepare you well for the job. I learned more in 1 to 2 weeks of working at a gym than I did off the months of research and reading and the eventual testing I did. 1 to 2 weeks over like a year of work. But supplement pushing doesn't just affect the world of personal trainers, influencers, or athletics. It is extremely prevalent in the realm of preventative healthcare, and the complications of holistic healthcare come into play. Adding a supplement from a food source is unlikely to have a poor effect on you, unless done in extreme excess. Don't eat tons of kale and end up in the ER. Drinking green tea for its benefits or adding a few more servings of vegetables a day to your diet are in general going to be beneficial and help your body absorb the needed micronutrients or produce them in some cases. When you start taking these supplements in their raw forms, of things can begin to get out of hand and cause unintended and life-threatening consequences. Most micronutrients have another that balances them out or helps them take root better in the body, and when we're lacking one, the other will suffer, either by not absorbing at all or going into the extreme. Take the supplement L-tyrosine as an example. Tyrosine is an amino acid, and amino acids are commonly known as the building block of protein. Although there are over 500 in nature, a lot of people commonly talk about the 9 essential amino acids, and it's not uncommon to hear the 22 essential amino acids thrown out either. Tyrosine is found in things like chicken, bananas, peanuts, milk, pumpkin seeds, tons of other sources. It's not difficult to supplement this into your diet through natural sources, and many people have no issues producing tyrosine. There are exceptions to this rule, with one of them being a rare genetic condition. This genetic condition, phenylketonuria, is usually treated under dietary control. However, at times individuals with PKU, as it's also referred to, become deficient in tyrosine and need to supplement to help bring levels up again. I'm not an expert in this field. I don't know a lot about PKU. I'm probably saying the full name incorrectly, but tyrosine is used as a treatment for it, and it's one of the few things that tyrosine is used for when we supplement. Supplementing with tyrosine is tricky. Most studies have only researched and found safe dosage for up to 3 months. Tyrosine is found in Gfuel, Gsups, and I'm sure other leading supplements within the gaming industry. I am going to hone in on Gfuel and GG quite a bit throughout this video, though, given that they are kind of the leaders in this terms of gaming healthy supplements, if you want to call them that. Tyrosine can have negative side effects on your thyroid, can interact with medication, and doesn't have long-term benefits or drawbacks studied very well. But taking a look at the supplement websites, it's not hard to see how they get you hooked into believing it'll improve your performance enough to weigh out the risks. Gfuel has been touting the story of creating the healthiest energy drink available on the market for gamers. G Fuel also has lead in their products, by the way. Lead. I can't believe I'm saying this, but ideally you should not ingest lead. I have seen a fair amount of people defending G Fuel and saying that California overreacts to things like this. Please do not ingest lead intentionally. Do not ingest food products that may contain lead. And I want to take a minute to talk about this because this will come up a bit later in the podcast, but for those of you who are listening through Spotify or iTunes, not looking at the videos, you do not know that I have a Popeye supplement jug to my left that I keep on the desk. This is one of my water bottles. I got it for free when I bought supplements from Popeyes, which is a popular supplement store. So buying things like BCAAs or protein powder, etc. I have specific goals in my life that require so much protein that I need to take protein powder. Protein powder comes with risks. We'll get into more of that in this video and what that kind of entails and how that means. But I just want to address that right out of the gate. I take protein powder. I know my risks. I do my research. I do my best. But every time that I take it, I'm adding a risk to my life. And I've chosen to do that. And if you're taking G Fuel or Gfuel and you can't get that source anywhere else and you're choosing to take that risk, that's totally your decision. But I think we should talk about why supplements are being targeted towards people playing video games. And I wouldn't even say that they're targeting extreme athletes or athletes who need this. They're targeting people who play video games and just want to keep playing video games and don't want to take a break. And that's a problem. And I think that's what this whole episode is about. So this whole conversation is about. On Gamersupps' website, they have a similar YGG page where they talk about the health of gamers and wanting to create a beneficial drink for everyone. I'd like to say the most wild part about the healthy claims is that they don't ever put this in solid terms on their website. But I literally just said that there was lead in G Fuel and it's still being touted as a healthy beverage for gamers. I think we'd all agree that G Fuel claiming a lead-containing product is healthy is the most wild thing about this. End of episode. We're done. Let's wrap it up. But in terms of these supplements, there is no definitive answer as to how or why they benefit your gaming prowess or your health, because they can't legally make those claims without being able to prove it. And I know this is supposed to be a podcast about throwing out ideas and starting conversations, but I think in situations like this, I'm just going to make a bit more of a sure statement. These sites are full of entrapment and attempts to gain more customers. Gfuel and GG are some of the most sleazy, unreputable companies that can exist. I cannot believe that a company would so blatantly lie and put consumers' long-term health at risk. The containing lead warning was not on the website until the state of California made them because they sell in California. Like, what the heck? I know that companies are out for profit lines and don't care about the consumer, but to disregard the health of your consumer when you're meant to be a healthy brand so readily just feels wrong. It doesn't just feel wrong, it is wrong. It's unethical. I had the opportunity to go to TwitchCon EU in Rotterdam this year, and the Gamersupps booth is what first got me thinking about all of this. It doesn't take a genius to see what most of Gamersupps is using for marketing campaigns. The anime waifus, purposely sexualized women. I have never seen a store or convention booth with a line as long as this one. I couldn't quite make sense of the whole thing, but I almost guarantee you it could do at least half a city block, if not more. It just wrapped everywhere. It was all over the convention floor. Sex sells, and GG has tapped into an anime waifu stereotype to market their supplements as wide and as far as they can. Put directly on the GG website is interesting advice, claims, and phrasing that makes it seem like you need the supplement to continue surviving. Take, for instance, the claim of no insulin response to the supplement itself. This leads to no insulin crash, something that, while not fully understood, is essentially your body not having controlled blood sugar levels. This can happen through an excess of processed or unprocessed sugars in your diet without something else to back you up, in a sense, to help your body regulate it. Anytime you eat, the body pretty much has an insulin response. And the idea of no crash is fine and potentially true provided you're eating legitimate food and not just a 15-calorie caffeinated supplement, but a common reaction to caffeine from your pancreas is to lower your insulin sensitivity. This means that you might have a higher insulin level after ingesting caffeine. Insulin crashing is your insulin level plummeting. Where do we have the logic here? And I don't understand all of this, but I've done as much reading and understanding into it as I can. On the caffeine-free supplement, furthermore, they advertise that you can start peeing clear to be hydrated. Peeing clear is a sign of overhydration, not correct hydration. Your pee should not be consistently clear, and you need to potentially take a step away from the water bottle if that's happening to you. Obviously, you really like to hydrate. Nothing wrong with that, but too much can be bad. I don't know what's going on in the world of gaming supplements, but I'm telling you they're playing a game that they don't understand. Plastered all over both websites is a disclaimer that GG and Gfuel are dietary supplements. Here's the funny thing about a supplement: the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, doesn't need to approve the product. You know what else is considered a supplement and has been used for years, and now in 2022 had a company independently test and find lead, arsenic, BPA, the stuff they make plastic out of, pesticides, and more cancer-containing ingredients in it. Nearly 75% of all brands tested positive for lead. Protein powder. Look, bureaucracy, red tape, etc., whatever, that's fine. Have that opinion. I work in an industry that has a lot of red tape. I get it. It's annoying to do the right thing all the time. But like it or not, red tape protects you. The FDA having to approve something you intend to eat on a daily basis is a good thing, and holds companies accountable from not putting lead in products. And it is especially a good thing on products that are pushed towards more vulnerable markets. This includes people struggling with mental health, which I can imagine would be a struggling athlete with little or no support financially or on a social level, since esports aren't super accepted yet. Children who can easily be influenced by content creators. We don't understand how much of it is fake. I don't even understand as an adult sometimes. I need that reminder that this is fake. Someone is photoshopping or doing anything to make themselves look better. There's many other people who can be targeted in this way in a vulnerable sector. I don't want to say this in an overly judgmental way, but GG specifically is targeting lonely individuals who idolize anime women. There is no way you can convince me that the way this industry is doing, whether supplements for athletes, gamers, or the average person, is an ethical way to do it. One of my favorite books I've ever read is Michael Pollan's In Defense of Food. I'm a huge admirer of Pollan's works. I've read most of his books and watched videos and documentaries that he's been in. But what struck me as significant about this book is how and why he defended food. And by food, he will often say he means real food. Food that does not have ingredients you cannot pronounce in it, food that is not pre-made, but real ingredients that create a real meal. Another guideline for this is, if your grandma or great-grandma or maybe great-great-grandma for some of us wouldn't have found it in the grocery store, probably shouldn't be eating it. The whole book goes through how we've lost the culture of sharing meals, how different cultures eat, and just eating will help give you the micronutrients you need. Just eating. A balanced diet, typically ranging from the area you were raised or the heritage you have, seems to be what's best for all of us as humans. Learning how to cook is not a skill that we are commonly taught anymore, but this is a skill that one needs. Learn how to cook pasta from scratch, learn how to make burgers or pizza or stir fries, whatever you reach for and love to eat from restaurants, boxes, or ordering in. I can guarantee you can make a better version. You just have to practice. Just try it out. And for those of you that believe that you don't have enough time, I get it. I work over 45 hours a week during my work season, and I have to cook every single meal I bring to work because I have celiac disease. There are no options for me if I don't make something ahead of time. Most restaurants can't cater to me in the area that we work. Protein bars are nice, but they're not that nice and they only get you so far, and it's not really a real source of food. Meal prep. There are lots of resources. It's going to take a few hours when you first start since you don't know how to do it and you're learning a new skill, but it will help. Doesn't have to be complicated. Some weeks I just pull some cooked chicken out of the freezer and portion it out. I'm not Gordon Ramsay, I'm not Bobby Flay. I'm just cooking food so I don't die or ingest foods that potentially have lead in them consistently. Please, please, please stop relying on supplements if you are. Stop letting the culture surrounding gaming and esports convince you that these will help you going for longer. Maybe they will keep you going for longer, but athletes rest. The remarkable thing about these supplements that we haven't talked about yet is that they're meant to keep you awake for longer and to be able to concentrate for longer. When an athlete is tired, they rest. When you are tired, rest. This may not mean the same thing as when you are physically tired. You may need to stretch or to move or to give your eyes a screen break, but rest. If you are an aspiring esports player and you've landed on the video and you've made it all the way through, learning to take care of your body outside of your sport is the most important thing you could do. And learning how to cater to your body so you can be more competitive in your sport. It is something that all athletes do. And the difference is esports doesn't really have long-term coaches yet. We haven't had those coaches who have done these groundbreaking things and written these books for you yet so you can understand it. But read books about the psychology of sport. Read the inner game of tennis. Read about chess players. Read about sports players. And read about how they shake off the losses and continue to play with intention. Because the best players out there are the ones that can let it go and just start a new game and go again, even if they've lost. Practice with intention. Figure out what skills you need, write them down, dedicate time to improving on each one. If you're not sure how to do that, ask. Ask anyone. Ask a player, ask a coach, just ask. The worst they can do is tell you they won't give you free advice, but most coaches, most truly passionate coaches, will throw out nuggets now and then to pretty much anyone. Because they just love what they do too much to not. Figure out a schedule for yourself and know that playing 12 to 14 hours a day is not a good schedule. Take breaks, take care of your body, your mind, your soul. Keeping balance with the sport if you're choosing will take you much further than burning yourself out on any sort of training regimen. And when you've tried this for a few weeks, see what you can improve in your life besides how well you play the game. Because look, sports are great. I love sports. Games are great. And maybe you make millions of dollars, and maybe you don't. But even if you make those millions of dollars, someone better will come along. Someone else will win, and you won't have a consistent income anymore. Shoot for the stars, make the money, and then make sure you use it in the right way and have a life you want to return to when it's all over. The glory days don't last for very long. And unless you're one of the best in your sport, your game, esports is rapidly growing, but we don't know how long these games are going to last on average. When you phase out, you need something you want to return to. It's got really out of hand really fast, and I have to tell you, we're just getting started. These disgusting supplement practices don't just stop here. And I want to talk about further medication abuse within higher levels of esports. This is unfortunately a huge issue that probably won't be going away anytime soon. This has been extremely enlightening for me. I didn't expect when I saw the GG marketing at TwitchCon to dive into this website and this world and see all of the things that they claim and just leave up on their website for all of us to read. And maybe it's a not wanting to read the terms and conditions. Maybe it's a not wanting to tell what's going into your body, but this is not good. It's predatory. And telling people that taking this is going to make you better is a lie. And we can reel that back to protein powder once again, because telling someone to take protein powder and then they'll get big, they'll lift heavier, they'll this, they'll that is a lie. Protein powder is a supplement. You use it when you can't get enough meat or eggs or milk or protein, just any source in your diet. And that's a really high threshold for most people to hit. You have to be eating so well and so clean to hit that point. The one thing I really learned out of doing all this research, though, is what people will do to win and how unaccountable the governing body of ESL, of WADA, of anyone involved in esports at a higher level is right now. And how if we actually do like watching esports and we actually do care about esports, I think it's time that we think about what they're doing and we think about how things are being handled. And at the very least, we start speaking up about it, because these people matter that are playing the games. Yes, they're there for our entertainment, but they're still another person at the end of the day. Someone playing that game. And there are very, very few times when you see the most incredible athletes performing at the top of their ability. And so next week, let's talk about those performance enhancing drugs. Oh boy.